What's up, guys? Welcome to the ABNC show. My name is Zane Hoshman. I'm joined by Josh Sharp. How you doing, Josh?
Doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We got a lot to talk about today. Um, Number one, this is the first episode. Everything's gonna go wrong, right?
Everything is gonna
Every,
go
ev-
perfectly wrong. I'm
Everything's
so
gonna.
excited.
This is number one, pre-recorded, which means literally anything could happen. Number two, there's always gonna be an audio issue. Number
Of
three,
course.
there's going to be a video issue. Number four, maybe we finished the show. We're like an hour into it. We got it. We're like cheering. And then tomorrow morning when I upload the video, I realize, oh crap, no one could hear me or nobody could hear you throughout the entire video.
Yeah. Come to think about it, we probably should have tested that your
We
recording of us actually works.
we
That
probably
might have been
should.
yeah, that might have been the thing that we should
It's
have
it's too
done.
it's too late now. We're 1 minute and 18 seconds into it, and I'm not
Well,
stopping it.
it can only go downhill from here. So
It
let's
can
do
only
it.
go downhill from here. So I guess like the point of, let's I guess talk about what the point of the show is. The point of the show is to just talk about comic book movie news, like as it's presented to us, what we think of what we're seeing, like trailers, breakdowns, like I guess behind the scenes pictures. I don't fucking know. We're just gonna figure it out as we go,
We're just gonna wing it, man. We're just gonna
and
wing
we're gonna wing it. And the point is the reason why we're doing this pre-recorded now is we wanted to build up an audience. And one of the reasons I listen to shows, which is like why I listen to podcasts, is because the hosts of these, respected shows, kind of have the audience involved, whether it's like through live chats, whether it's through like calling them in. I just love how they engage with their fans, kind of, and like that's always been part, and that's kind of something I've always envisioned for this show to hopefully go on. So I mean, obviously you can't do that in the beginning. You got to build up your audience. You got to build up the rapport. So
it.
hopefully,
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed.
We don't fall our season.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We get at least one viewer. We get one viewer.
I think
All
my
right.
mom will watch.
I think my mom too. So two viewers. Two viewers. We're off to a good,
Solid. Look at that.
we got a good start. All right. Let's get into it. So this is Monday. This is a pre-recorded episode. There was a Birds of Prey. I guess like what would you call it? It's not a teaser per se. What would you like say it was?
I feel like it's one of those like now in production videos. Some studios will like put out like a little. It kind of is a teaser, I think,
Yeah.
because it's teasing, I guess, the characters, and it's kind of giving us a
We know what they're gonna look
idea
like
of
in
like.
costume.
See, the thing is, I don't think that it's technically like costume reveal because you saw Black Mask like wearing like these goofy ass shades, and I don't think he's gonna be wearing those. I don't think Robin Sionis will be walking around with those like Gucci ass
I don't
shades.
know,
I
man.
could be wrong. I don't really know.
I think
But
he will be.
I definitely feel like it was more of like this like a now in production because I literally started filming on the 14th, I think.
Yes, about 2 weeks ago.
So
I mean,
I guess let's just call it a teaser
I mean,
just to make it easier
we
on ourselves.
so like they showed off what Harley Quinn's gonna look like essentially. It's a little bit of a different look from Suicide Squad. They showed off what Huntress is gonna look like, what Black Canary's gonna like. I feel like those are the in costume like people. I don't know about Black Mask though. Like I'm iffy on that. Like his name is Black Mask. He doesn't have a black mask.
Well, the thing is like in the comics, the mask wasn't. He didn't always have the mask on. Like the mask, like I think it like burned onto his face or something, got adhered to his face somehow.
It got burned onto his face. Maybe this is like an origin kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, when he's just like out and about, he's Roman Sionis, but when he's handling his Black Mask stuff, he puts it on as like an intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
That's how I think it is. And then like towards the climax of the film, he probably gets it like burned onto him, and then he's stuck with the actual Black Mask on. That's my personal kind of prediction, quote unquote.
So like one of the things I also took away is like the third shot in, you just see like a woman drinking. I couldn't tell who it was, and then you see like the shot of the cast.
I think that was Black Canary actually. I'm like 95% sure that was Black.
It was
Canary.
one of them, and then like on the cast, if you looked closely, it had like bitch on it, and I think I saw the word shit. So is this supposed to be like an R-rated movie? Like
Yeah, Yeah, Kathy Yen and well, the director of the movie and Margot Robbie said that they're aiming for a R
R
rating.
rating. Hmm.
And then yeah, like you said, like when you look, I literally just posted a picture like maybe like a half hour ago on my page.
Hmm.
Yeah, literally she has a gun. She has the word magic on there. She has fuck asshole fuck you. So I'm guessing she's gonna be like
Oh, I didn't even
almost
notice
like
that the bat said like "f you" and all that.
yeah I think they're gonna have like Cassandra Cain like swearing kind of like hit girl
Maybe.
style in Kick Ass.
Hmm.
I feel like they're gonna do that, and like I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. I'm not really well versed on Cassandra Cain Batgirl
Hmm.
like information. I
Yeah.
and I highly doubt she's like that in the comics. But
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, are you like when you heard about that this movie was announced and now it's like in filming? Are you really excited for it? Like how you feeling about it right now?
Oh, actually, no. That's actually a really tough question because, like, on one hand, I'm super excited because we're getting another DC movie, and I love
Right.
the Birds of Prey. I think the team itself has a lot of potential on the big screen, and I
Hmm.
think that's why Margot Robbie pushed so hard to make it happen.
Yeah, she's a producer
But
on the movie.
on like the same, on a different side of that coin, I'm a little cautious because before the movie even started, she described this as a girl gang movie, one of Harley's gangs,
Hmm.
and Harley has never been a part of the Birds of Prey. Harley's girl gang is Gotham City
Gotham
Sirens.
City Sirens, right?
So in my kind of view, I think if you wanted Harley to have, her girl gang, why
Mhm.
not just make a Gotham City Sirens? And I'm pretty sure they're gonna do that eventually in the future.
Yeah, I
But
mean, one of the
like,
things that was like out there was that Margot Robbie she was at the time there's like rumors and just rumors, I guess, that the scripts for Gotham City Sirens and Birds of Prey were almost pretty similar, and at the end of the day, it was the studio had to choose like which one they were going to go for. So
yeah,
like, I mean,
I,
I'm a little nervous about it because I don't know. I just like I was excited for Suicide Squad. I was completely like bummed out by the end of it. It was just a
release
bunch
the
of
Ayer cut.
release the air cut. I was just like it looked cool. Like the characters look cool, and that's exactly what's here, except for Black Mask, I guess. Like they all look cool, but is the movie going to be any good?
I guess we'll have to see what that last
Who,
part. 'Cause
who's writing this movie?
um,
I'm looking it up. Hang on.
I actually have no idea. Yeah, I'm looking it up too because I don't
Birds
know.
of Prey. And I don't like the title, by the way. Birds
Oh,
of
Birds
Prey
of Prey
and
and
the
like the.
Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. What kind of confusing ass title is that? One
I don't know.
Everyone's just gonna call it Birds of Prey anyway, so just call
The
it
thing,
Birds of Prey.
the thing is like I originally thought it was a joke. I thought that was just like Margot Robbie's like way of like I don't know, like being in character and then writing that on the script.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but
Okay,
like,
so the writer is Christina Hodson. She just wrote Bumblebee, and I really liked Bumblebee.
oh, I think she's also writing Batgirl too.
Batgirl, yeah, she's writing a Batgirl
Yeah.
movie, but I really liked Bumblebee, and then she also wrote two terrible movies, two other terrible
Oh,
movies,
solid.
Unforgettable
Wait,
and
wh-
Shut In.
I've never even heard of either one of those films.
I've seen both, and they're not that great.
Oof.
Um,
Was the writing the reason why those movies were bad, or was it just like acting? What?
it was a mixture of acting, I guess, some of the dialogue and the directing. It was just they were just terrible movies to go with.
Wow, I know what I'm not doing after this.
Yeah, but Bumblebee was really good.
Yeah, I saw
Bumblebee's-
that.
Yeah, so maybe it was just like beginning writer's luck because literally her first two movies were terrible, and maybe she just had, she kind of like, okay, this is what I'm like, what I am as a writer. It's Bumblebee.
Whatever she wrote for these, like for I don't know which one she started with. I'm guessing she started with Birds of Prey. Whatever it was had to be good because they're like, hey, here's another DC film we want you to write a
Batgirl,
script for.
yeah.
So like I'm guessing she.
She is
Whatever
on
she wrote-
everybody's radar for a reason. Like
Yeah.
after Bumblebee, like there's a lot of studios who are like, "Hey, come write this movie, come write this movie." That's kind of how the game works. You make one good movie and you get offered these things. And I really liked Bumblebee, and it was because of I guess you buy into the relationship of the why am I forgetting her name, Haley Steinfeld and Bumblebee. It's because of not just directing, but because of dialogue, how they were able to make a girl care about a robot that doesn't talk. So like that's all dialogue. So I don't know. I think this could be really good. I'm still very nervous about it.
Can we
But
talk about one thing though?
yeah, what's up?
And this is something that someone brought to my attention, and then I posted about it.
Hmm.
In the picture that Margot Robbie posted when she was just like Miss
Oh,
Universe, like the
can I
first
guess what
picture
you're gonna
of
say?
her, go from you
The
probably
necklace,
can.
the necklace,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
the first thing I
Yeah,
noticed. So
yeah. The dog tag, it says Bruce on it.
yeah. Are they talking about Bruce Wayne?
The way that I see it, and I mentioned this to a friend of mine, and he was kind of like iffy on it.
Hmm.
I think it's just like a cheeky joke,
Like an Easter egg?
Yeah, like she brought a dog tag that says Bruce on it, and like we
Because
all
does
know
she
that
know
Batman's
who-
Bruce Wayne. I
Does
don't
she
think
know
knows.
in this
I don't think
universe?
she knows.
They didn't establish that. I think it's probably just maybe it's an Easter egg to like a Bruce who's a producer on the movie, or Bruce Timm who's a comic book writer. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Harley got her first, exposure from the Batman animated series, and Bruce Timm worked on it. So I mean, pretty sure he designed her. So I
And
mean,
in the comics, Bruce Wayne and both Bruce Wayne and Batman, like they're the same. I know, but like they both had different relationships with Harley Quinn. So maybe I don't know. I guess we'll find out. When is this movie coming out? January next year?
I thought it was February.
Was it February? It might be February. I don't know. Fucking 2020.
Let's see. Oh, fuck. Now, see now, damn it.
All right, I'm looking it up. I got it.
I'm pretty sure it's
Birds of Prey released
February 7th.
February 7th. Oh, so that's like Valentine's Day. Okay, I thought it was in January.
Yeah,
Okay.
Valentine's Day weekend, kind of.
Yeah. So I guess they're kind of aiming for the female demographic on this one, and I think it's going to do well financially.
yeah.
So,
I'll tell you what though, and this is something that I brought up just amongst my friends a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons why Suicide Squad did so well was because of Harley Quinn. I think we can both agree on that one,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
And that movie, like a lot of like young teenagers with like teenage girls, like, they found her like to be really strong and empowering and stuff like that, and like that's super cool.
Yeah.
But Birds of Prey is gonna be rated R. I mean, how are you gonna market a rated R film to like 16-year-olds and
I mean, I get that,
like
but
that, so, I don't
then to that I would say look at Deadpool. Look at Deadpool 2. Look at Logan. Those movies went on to make like a lot of money. Deadpool and Deadpool 2 both made over 700 million worldwide, and Logan was probably around that park. I think this movie, whether it receives R or PG-13, even if it receives R, I think it's going to make money. I still think it's going to make money because those teenagers who fell in love with Harley Quinn, it will be about 4 years since Suicide Squad passed. They'll probably be old enough to go see a rated R movie.
True.
So
Okay.
and if
Yeah,
I
right.
think if it's aiming for and the budget's pretty low anyways on this one compared to the other DC movies. This I heard the budget was like $50-ish million.
Yeah, I heard it was like I heard it was like 60.
Yeah, around less than 100, less than 100 million.
Yeah.
So like this movie doesn't have to do like bonkers just to break even, like unlike Suicide Squad.
Oh, I'm looking at the cinematographer, and he recently did some good movies. He did,
Didn't he do
he's got-
Venom?
Yeah.
I mean, look, Venom's. It's not a terrible movie. He didn't. It's not terrible.
He did Venom. He did Iron Man 2. He did Iron Man. He also did A Star Is Born, which is
Oh yeah, that was
a few
great.
Oscars.
That was great.
He also did Black Swan, which I haven't seen. I probably should.
I didn't like the
I heard
movie, but the cinematography is pretty good.
So looks like we're gonna have ourselves some nice shots.
We're
I'm excited.
I mean, the
that.
thing about these DC movies, at least we'll get to there, but like they look cool, but on paper, on the script, maybe could use some work.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that
we'll get there. I know like when we get to our top 5 comic book movies, I'm gonna have some hard things to say about your number 1.
Okay, it's alright.
All right, we'll get there. All right, so we're done with that. There was a little movie that came out. What was it? December 21st.
Yep.
It made over $1 billion. It's called Aquaman. Entourage's Aquaman, featuring Vinny Chase. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen Entourage?
No.
Then you probably won't get the joke. Fuck it.
No, I know. I got the joke because I saw like a little clip on Twitter, but I've actually never seen Entourage. I think I tried to because I was like, oh, I should be cool and watch Entourage, and I watched like like half of the first episode, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go
It's
watch like
you got to give it a little bit.
Urban Adventures of Billy and Mandy or some shit. I don't
You
know.
you got to give it a little bit. So I guess let's just talk about Aquaman. It's been out for a month. It made $1 billion. I think we could do a little spoiler review. I guess what were your thoughts on Aquaman? Spoiler, go at it.
I really enjoyed Aquaman a hell of a lot more than I thought I would. Because I've before Jeff Johns' New 52 run of Aquaman, I always thought that he was just a trash character. I was just like, oh, he
totally
totally
agree.
talk to fish and,
Totally
and,
agree.
and this and that. And the thing is like DC kind of like fueled this just by some of the stuff that they did, just like like especially like in like the 60s or like the 70s, like the really early
The Super Friends.
the Super Friends show, like they like he was a joke. He was a gimmick character.
He was a walking meme.
Yeah, literally. And then Jeff Johns' run came out, and he made Aquaman a legit badass.
He was awesome.
And then Zack Snyder cast Jason Momoa, one of the
the walking badass.
literally one of the beefiest motherfuckers in Hollywood, next to The Rock. And I enjoyed his little mini cameo thing in BVS, and then it got me more excited for this movie. And then it came out, and I was just like this movie's a lot of fun.
It was very fun. It was so damn fun.
Yeah, like I agree with everyone saying like it was a mix between like I would say it was a mix more between like Indiana Jones and Star Wars than like I think someone said Lord of the Rings and like Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see a few Avatar elements, especially with like the
world
Fisherman
building,
Kingdom.
like
the Fisherman Kingdom and stuff like that.
And with Atlantis too, like the kingdom, the effects, like it was incredible.
Yeah,
what they pulled up.
Yeah, I know people were really upset that they weren't nominated for an Academy Award, but they literally just missed the deadline. They missed the deadline.
They missed the deadline, and like I mean, shit happened. You don't need an Academy Award for a movie like Aquaman. Like what you need, like you made $1 billion, you don't need an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like that's like, yeah, go on.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think my biggest gripe about that movie is some of the dialogue. Just
The writing was a bit mad.
There is one particular scene that Yaya speaks at the beginning of the movie that always bothers me.
Which one?
When he walks up to the captain and he was like, God, what did he say? He was just like, I won't tell you how to captain, and you won't tell me how to pirate. And then he whips out his knife and kills that guy.
No.
I was like, that's so bad.
I've only seen
Come on.
it. The worst like acting in this movie. It was like I think it was teenage or young Arthur Curry training with Volko on the beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that acting, I cringed in the theater so hard. I was like, ugh.
When he after Vocal tells him that they sacrifice his mom to the trench, and he looks out to the ocean, it's like, yo, play it mad. He's like,
I'm like, it was terrible. That acting was terrible. On the whole, though, this movie was so damn fun, like it was depressed coming out of Justice League. I was like, where the hell is this going? Like, who gives a fuck now? This movie's gonna probably not tank, but probably if Justice League couldn't even make $700 million, this movie's not gonna make $500 million.
Wait, you didn't think it'd make $500 million, really?
No, because Justice League bombed so hard, it didn't make $700 million. So I at the time, like this was probably like right after Justice League came out, and I was like, damn, nobody cares about these characters. So like, and a movie like Aquaman would not make as much money as a Justice League movie.
True.
So I was like, man, this movie's probably gonna, dip a little bit. But against all odds, for the most part, the critics liked it. The audience had hella fun with it. This was just a hella fun movie, and it.
Yeah, I mean, it just surpassed The Dark Knight Rises to become the #1
highest grossing DC movie ever. Who would have seen this coming?
That
Aquaman.
is ridiculous. I never, in a million years. I mean, I knew it'd make money, but I didn't think it would make
This
Christopher Nolan Dark Knight money. That's like a whole different level, man.
Like, if you asked me a year ago, like literally, I would said probably make $400 million tops. $1 billion this movie makes. Like, what the hell?
I'm like, what is it right now? Like 1.9.
I think it's 1.09 or something. It's gonna hit like 1.1 billion by tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah. about to
It's
check
nuts.
right now.
I wish I could make $1 billion that easily.
Right?
Yeah, and like this movie was pretty damn fun. I think this movie really changed the tune of people's perception of the DC universe. And you know, with Shazam coming, like literally now, what 2-3 months left? It's pretty
April
perfect time.
6th.
April 6th. And I think it was smart of DC to give like a year gap in between Justice League and Aquaman to let the bad taste of Justice League out of people's like mouths a little bit. I think it was smart of them to have like a year gap and say, okay, this is our universe. Aquaman's gonna be fun. Shazam looks hella fun. Joker's not in the DC cinematic universe, so it's kind of hard to tell.
That we know of. Wink, wink,
That we know. We don't know.
We literally don't know at this point.
Birds of Prey is, I guess, in the DCEU because of Margot Robbie and all that.
Yeah, I mean, they also mentioned it's a rumor. There's really no evidence to back it up. Apparently, Batman's been missing from Gotham for like 2 years.
Oh yeah, I heard about that rumor. Yeah,
so, don't really know why or where the hell he's at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's because Ben Affleck's having some problems, maybe.
Man, don't even give me started.
we'll save that for another episode. We'll save.
I will literally talk about that for an hour.
We'll dedicate a whole episode to that.
Solid.
All right. So.
But I know. I loved Aquaman. I thought Patrick Wilson was phenomenal.
Best
as
villain
Orm.
in the DCEU so far.
Okay. I think that's debatable. I think he's one of the best, but I don't think he's the best.
Who would you put as number one? I'm just curious.
Shit.
Oh, I wouldn't mind if you had said Zod, because Zod for the longest time was my number one.
I mean, Zod's
in the DCEU, not in DC movies in general.
Oh, okay.
DCEU,
yeah, no,
DCEU. I was about to say nothing tops Heath Ledger's Joker ever.
What other villains have been in the DC films?
So there's Zod, then there's Doomsday, then there's Lex Luthor, Ares. We don't talk about that. Steppenwolf. We don't talk about that.
Why do we not talk about Ares?
Ares?
I thought he was fine.
I thought he was a terrible villain.
I mean, he didn't really do much, and I didn't like the fact that I saw his mustache when he put the mask on. But I mean, aside from that,
but we can agree that Steppenwolf was probably the worst, right?
Steppenwolf was.
Or Doomsday, Doomsday or Steppenwolf.
And I think probably the worst villain. No. The worst villain is Enchantress, and I was.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. You're right.
Fuck that character.
Oh yeah. I think it's between her and Steppenwolf for me. It's between her and Steppenwolf. So
I'm like, because you ever see a car dealership and those little airy like noodle things they have like outside?
Yeah,
like, oh, hey,
that was the
like,
Enchantress, like doing her freaking noodle, her dance or whatever. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm not down with that shit.
So, I think Aquaman really. The fact that they had the fact that James Wan had the fucking balls to put the orange and green suit into this movie,
and have it look so good.
Chills, man. Chills. It was awesome. And
I love the way the suit looks.
Yeah, the suit looked awesome. I know some people complain on one of the trailers, oh, it looks, flabby. Shut up. It looks great.
I have one complaint about the suit though. Mm-hmm. The gauntlets on his arm are way too big.
Yeah, they're a little big, but
those things are just
it's probably for a reason. I don't know what, I don't know. I love it. I'm all in.
I would like for them to slim those down for the sequel, just a little bit.
Maybe they'll do it.
Streamline it a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess like looking at the picture now, the picture I have up for like the graphic as people watch this video, you could see like a little bit of his, boot that's also sticking out a little bit. But it was that scene when he's like coming out on the Kraken, like into war was awesome. It was just awesome. Probably the best scene in the movie. So I guess.
Oh,
sorry. No, go on.
I was just gonna say I'm just really excited because even though I wouldn't say like Ocean Master was the best DCEU like villain, I can't wait to see him again. I want to see what else they do with him because I'm super happy they kept him alive. I didn't really think that they were gonna kill him off.
They're not gonna kill him off.
I was just like when he was winding up to like stab him through the neck. I was just like they're not gonna do it, and then obviously they didn't.
It's convenient that Nicole Kidman showed up though. Like, took her 10 minutes to show up. Also, one thing I did not like about this movie, I didn't like Black Manta. I don't know what it was. I just didn't.
Okay. I'm not the only person. I'm so happy because
I don't know if
people they get mad.
Yeah, it was just he was just written terribly. He was just I thought the actor did what he could. I don't think it was the actor's fault. I don't know. It was probably just the dialogue he was given and the storyline. I just didn't like, and his voice and the costume. It just didn't translate well as I'd hoped. It was just.
Well, I mean, I think the costume was fine. I didn't have a problem with the costume. It's just like I don't know. There was just something about Black Manta that I didn't like.
I didn't.
Maybe it was the acting. I didn't really buy that. Like, I'm like, how did he get in contact with the Atlanteans? If he hates the Atlanteans, why is he working with them? How did they
I was
find
confused
him?
about
How did they find him on this
random
ass island in buttfuck? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, clearly they have some ideas where he went. Hopefully, he'll be the main villain in Aquaman 2, because clearly that's what the after credits is for, and maybe we get to know a little bit more about him. You know, maybe he'll get a better fleshed out storyline. I'm hoping. I love Black Manta, so you know.
Question.
Yeah.
Who? Because I don't know a whole bunch of about Aquaman lore. So who the heck was that that guy that like rescued him? Who is that dude?
The guy who rescued him? Who, Black Manta?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
no idea who he is.
Yeah, he's some sort of scientist. I'm not sure who he was either. I had to kind of look it up, I'll be honest, after I saw the movie. Apparently, I don't know. I even think about it now, I forgot. It was like a scientist of sorts who's just trying to prove Atlantis is real. And that's kind of what the point of him in the movie was, I guess. I'm assuming he'll be back in the sequel. So.
I'm guessing so. I guess like him and Black Manta will work together.
Yeah.
But I guess before we move on, I have to mention this because I would be remiss if I didn't. Mm-hmm. I think we can both agree that the absolute worst part of this movie was that dumbass Pitbull song.
You know what?
Fuck that song.
You know
I
what?
hate it.
Ocean,
sea to sea. Like, get out of here, man. Get out of here, Mr.
I'll tell you what.
No one wants you.
In my theater, there was someone behind me, and that song came out. This song came on, and somebody just started giggling. They just started laughing at it, and I started to laugh a little bit. I was like, okay, this is a bit goofy, but you know what?
I've seen the. Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. You've seen the movie.
I was just gonna say I've seen the movie 3 times, and each time it happens, like I start to cringe. Yeah. I literally like sink into my chair, and I'm just like, I can't believe that James Wan was just like, yeah, let's go ahead and put this in the movie because this is.
I mean, he directed Fast 7, so he's come out and said like, you know, there's songs in the movie because I kind of got that from Fast 7. You know,
like yeah, but this isn't Fast 7.
I mean, you learn, you know. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of a little bit off topic, I know, but like over the weekend they said James Wan might come back if the script's good enough. Would you want to see James Wan come back for Aquaman 2?
Oh, absolutely. He did a great job with Aquaman. I would love to see him talk. Honestly, like I know some people might like want this, but I want a darker Aquaman sequel. Just a little bit. Just get a little bit.
Just a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't think it would hurt.
I'm hoping, you know, I guess the trades are saying he's waiting for the right script. I'm hoping it's by a different writer. You know, the writing was just okay in this movie, the dialogue wise. I thought the story was fine. I liked the tone and the vibe, but some of the dialogue could have been better, and some of the storylines could have been fleshed out a little bit more. So I'm hoping they just get a new writer, and you know, James Wan like directed the hell out of this movie, so I'm hoping he comes back for number 2.
I saw a few people say that they want David Goyer
to write it?
To write the script for Aquaman 2.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
He wrote Man of Steel, and then of course he helped Christopher Nolan with the Dark Knight trilogy, and then he also worked on BVS.
And isn't he right? He's showrunning Krypton, right? I think he's the show. Yeah, so he might be a little bit busy. He might be a little bit busy.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, do you have any other writers in mind that you think might
for Aquaman?
Well? Yeah, I know that's probably like a really difficult question since there's so many writers.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. That's a tough question. There's so many writers. It depends on what kind of movie they want to go for. Right. Because we don't know what kind of tone. You know, tone is important. What type of storyline you're going for. I don't know. I really don't know.
I'll tell you one thing I don't want in an Aquaman sequel. I don't want them to chop his hand off. I've never liked that look.
Oh yeah, and I don't want them to kill Mara either. I like not yet. I know that's a pretty big thing. Keep Amber Heard, please. She was the best thing in this movie.
She really was yes.
Woman Crush Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess let's rank Aquaman out of 10. What would you give it out of 10?
I think I was on my hype train when I said this. I originally gave like a 9.5.
Really?
Yeah, but like I think I'll settle at an 8.5.
That's where I give it to 8.5. I came out. I was like, you know what? This movie has problems, but this movie is at the end of the day hella fun. It's fun for the whole family. It's just an enjoyment. It's just a ride. It's a fun ride from ocean to ocean.
Shut up. Moving on. Moving
Moving
on.
on. All right. So I guess probably 2 weeks ago, a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer dropped, giving us a little insight into the web-slinging sequel. So obviously this is set after Endgame, so theories kind of came out about what timeline is this going to be in the new timeline? What's going on? So I guess overall thoughts on the trailer. What do you think?
I thought it was alright. I thought it was an alright trailer.
It doesn't reveal too much.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm just gonna say I don't think Zendaya makes her a good MJ. Has nothing to do with her skin color. I'm like literally her and I like the same skin tone, so don't even give me that stuff.
All right.
I just don't think she's a very good MJ. Like I don't like the way that they write her. I don't like the way that she is. I think it has to do more with the writing than it has to do with her.
I think they'll play up on her in this one though. I don't know. We haven't seen what she's up to. Clearly she has a bigger role from like set pictures and stuff. That she has a big role this time around.
Just that like that part that she had in the trailer where he was just like, "Oh, you look really pretty." She was like, "And therefore I have value." Like he's just giving you a compliment. Shit, like it ain't that serious. Like,
I mean, it's not necessarily Mary Jane. I like her. I think her name was like Michelle, right?
Yeah, but they're trying to make her MJ.
MJ.
Which is why she was just like, "Yeah, just call me MJ," because they want you to have that in your mind whenever they're on screen together.
Mm-hmm. But we know the biggest thing about this trailer. I'm excited for this movie. Mysterio.
Yeah, my boy, dude. I have been a Mysterio fan for so long, and he's one of my favorite villains just in all of comic books, just because of how just creative he is.
I've been waiting 13 years to see him on the big screen, and to get an actor like Jake Gyllenhaal, dude, I'm in. I'm already in.
I was a little admittedly, I was a little bit upset when they cast Jake Gyllenhaal, not because I don't think he can do it or that I wasn't excited to see him in the role. I wanted him in a DC movie. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, weren't those rumors coming out that he was like Matt Reeves' choice to be the Batman?
Yeah, I didn't want that. I didn't think he'd make a good Batman. I mean,
I think he would have. I think he would have. I'll be honest. I think he would have.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he could have crushed it. I mean, obviously that's not happening because you know he's Mysterio now. I think he's perfect for Mysterio. I think he's great for Mysterio.
Yeah, no, like when like they announced that Mysterio was going to be the main villain, I was just like, they have to do the fishbowl helmet.
And they did.
It is
and they did.
Bust. Yeah,
they did. I'm like, seriously, you'd have to have the balls to include a villain like Mysterio with the fishbowl helmet.
Yeah, no, he looks great.
Yeah, he looks great, and like the power set he's got, or quote unquote power set, he's got, looks pretty incredible. I'm really looking forward to this movie. I'm really excited. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so he's probably my favorite Marvel character, next to Deadpool. Probably next to Deadpool, he's my favorite Marvel superhero.
Yeah, I think Into the Spider-Verse actually made me more of a Spider-Man fan than I was. Like,
dude, yeah, that movie was great, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah,
I'm guessing. Okay,
no, it's in my list.
Dang it! I totally forgot about that. Crap.
It was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was really good. Even though there was this loud ass, awful child next to me, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie.
Hate that, yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
So good. Yeah. So
yeah, there's actually like a line in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer that Happy speaks that has.
You're all alone.
Thinking, yeah, I mean,
dude, I'm nervous. What's gonna happen, man?
Bro, Tony's fucking gone. Man.
I mean, it's pretty smart.
He's gone.
If you think about it, like the way Marvel's kind of doing the strategy. So Captain Marvel comes out in March, and then literally like a month and a half later is Avengers, and then like probably 2 months after that, Spider-Man. These three Marvel movies are gonna be so interconnected, because obviously, the end credits of Captain Marvel is gonna lead straight into Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home, at least what Ken Feige and all them said, takes place minutes after Endgame. So it's all like leading into, it's like one big storyline, 2019, just all suing into each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see like
How this all ties in, what's gonna happen, what's
yeah,
Hydro
like how
Man doing,
yeah, like how does everyone come back?
and like yeah, like
where's
the like it seems like if this movie just takes place minutes after, you don't go on like a school trip, like you don't go abroad, it's like, didn't we all just die? Why are we going on a school
yeah,
trip?
yeah, yeah.
So
Actually, I didn't even think about that. Like it's a really
So,
like fair point to bring up.
obviously some timeline shenanigans gonna clearly happen in Endgame, but we have until April to theorize what's gonna happen there.
What was it, April 26th? I think?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm so ready for that.
Bro, I get Shazam and Endgame in my birthday month.
Oh,
I'm a
that's so
very
lucky.
happy person.
That's so lucky. Endgame is on my friend's birthday, and I told him, dude, you better not be planning some birthday party. We're going to Endgame that night.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, opening night. I said, look, dude, I don't care what we're doing, as long as we're free by 6 or 7, we're gonna go see Endgame.
Boy.
Yeah. So that's with Spider-Man. So X-Men Dark Phoenix. Let's talk about this shithole.
That's still a thing?
It's still a thing, apparently.
Great.
So reports are saying, there were some test screenings. This movie's shit. Are we surprised?
All right.
Are we surprised?
Surprised? No. You want to know why? Because Simon Kinberg is directing it, and he's never directed a movie in his life.
Well, I mean, to be fair, number one, J.J. Abrams has never directed anything going into Mission Impossible 3. And I liked Mission Impossible 3.
But he directed TV episodes of Fringe.
That's true, but Simon Kinberg is also he's also, it was Alias. It was Alias, I think. Alias.
Why did I say Fringe?
He might have done Fringe. I don't know. But, Simon Kinberg, from, what we hear, is that he's very hands-on on these movies. He's on set. He directed the last third of the god-awful Fantastic Four. And what makes me nervous is that this is the guy who wrote X-Men 3. And
Last Stand?
He wrote The Last Stand. Simon Kinberg wrote The Last Stand. So he's fucking up this saga again, the Dark Phoenix saga, a beloved comic storyline. Again, he's fucking it up, apparently.
Does he just love this storyline, and he just loves?
I mean, look,
he's doing on it or something.
Yeah, I mean, like he loves the X-Men, clearly. Days of Future Past is probably in my top 10 comic book movies of all time. I love that movie. I liked X-Men Apocalypse a little bit. I thought it was fine. I know a lot of people didn't like it. He's very hands-on the Deadpool movies, and he was very hands-on Logan. Whatever's happening to New Mutants, he's hands-on that. And I don't know. I love the X-Men franchise. I've been in love with this franchise since I was a kid. But to hear like shit like this, and how this might be, I mean, this is probably going to be the last X-Men movie in this Fox X-Men universe, Marvel universe. So to go on a stinker breaks my damn heart, man. Breaks my damn heart.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I do like the X-Men. I like the X-Men as a franchise. I think there's so much potential with the property, and I'm talking about like X-Men outside of like the typical Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops.
Where's Gambit? Where's Gambit?
Dude, like, yeah, you're right. But I want to see more Iceman. I love Iceman.
Yeah,
I think he's a cool character. Like, we don't get him. Like, he with the most kind of screen time we had as actual Iceman came in Days of Future Past, and then he got his head stepped on. Like, man, like really?
I mean,
that was depressing a little bit.
I mean, this is a little off topic. Are you excited about Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios getting their hands on the X-Men and the Fantastic Four?
I mean, yes, just due to the amazing like Avengers movies that we could be getting, or just crossovers in general.
Right.
But at the same time, like I like how different the X-Men movies are tonally.
Right, like between Logan and Deadpool, the two completely different movies.
Like we won't get another Logan. We won't get another Logan-esque movie.
Right. I mean, you could a movie
happen.
like Logan could only work like with an established character who's been going on for 20 years, like Hugh Jackman has as Wolverine. You can only do a movie like that. And I don't know, man. I want to know what's going to happen to Deadpool.
I mean, so far, Ryan Reynolds has been pretty confident about them making another Deadpool movie. And And there were some people that were thinking that the whole Once Upon a Deadpool thing, it being PG-13, was their way of gauging if the character is still profitable at a PG-13 rating. I don't really know how well it did. Nobody talked about Once Upon a Deadpool at all.
There was not really marketing for it. I mean, I believe they only did Once Upon a Deadpool, and this is what I've heard on like Twitter and stuff, is that they wanted a China release, and like the numbers, it opened in China this past weekend. Deadpool 2, like the Once Upon a Deadpool, because Deadpool and Deadpool 2 did not go to China because of its R rating. So Once Upon a Deadpool did, and it made a lot of money in China this past weekend. So
did it? Here, I'm gonna look. See
it made like over $40 million in China this weekend.
Wow.
So I mean that's pretty impressive. So
GG,
I mean,
China.
PG. I'm hoping Ryan Reynolds sticks. I think he's literally the perfect Deadpool. You can't do anybody else's Deadpool. And those movies are fantastic. Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. Okay, so let me give you the chance here. Do you think Dark Phoenix? You know, I think by the time this Disney Fox deal closes, I think Disney's gonna have to distribute this movie, Dark Phoenix, unfortunately. So do you think Disney's gonna release this shit?
See, that's a really tough question because let's just say, for example, that they do and the movie ends up being horrible. That's technically the first X-Men movie under Disney's roof. Disney doesn't want that.
Disney doesn't
want there to.
Unfortunately,
they don't want this.
Yeah, the timing of this merger. The timing of this merger. I mean, for the sake of the X-Men, I guess there's obviously more at play. Definitely, besides just the X-Men, between this Disney Fox deal.
Yeah. I don't think Disney would want this turd sitting under their roof.
Yeah.
But the thing is like they've spent what
the money is spent.
Yeah, it's spent upwards of what 250 million, close to 300 million on like just regular principal photography and reshoots.
We've heard about these reshoots for like almost a year now. Like
how it's like they went back and just reshot the entire movie.
Yeah, I mean
that's what it feels like at least.
Honestly, if Disney did write this off, you know, obviously you're going to lose what, like 400 million. Disney can easily make that money back with however much Endgame's going to make. Easily.
That's very true.
Like Disney yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the thing is, like, there's a rumor going around that New Mutants is going to make its way to Hulu. So, I mean, if they're going to do that for this, why not, do it for Dark
This might
Phoenix?
be too big for Hulu. I don't know. I mean...
I don't know. Netflix, the bitch. I don't know. I mean, they do have a deal with Netflix at least a little bit because they still have Punisher and.
I mean, they're canceling everything there, though. I think Punisher's getting canceled. They like the numbers have come out on Punisher season 2, and they weren't that good. Like the number, like, in terms of ratings.
Yeah, I think apparently they said that the viewership was down 40%,
which was almost the same as Daredevil season 3. And so, if Daredevil got canceled, I won't be surprised if Punisher's going to get canceled within the next couple of weeks.
See, that's what bothers me about comic book fans, right? Like they'll like go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook or whatever, and they'll talk about, oh, save the show, we love the show. But when a new show comes out that's literally in that exact same universe, they don't watch it.
Yeah.
Like what is what? You're literally talking out of both sides of your mouth. Like
I mean, I can get why
you're gonna support something, then don't do it.
I can get why Iron Fist was canceled. I didn't like Iron Fist. I know a lot of people didn't like Iron Fist.
That show was balls.
Luke Cage. I liked half of season 1. The other half was terrible. Season 2 was garbage. I could see why I canceled that.
My quick thought on Luke Cage season 2. I saw him dab and I turned it off.
Oh yeah. But how dare they cancel Daredevil? That really
after the show's best season.
Yeah, season 3 was like I was like season 2 was better than 1, and I was like, I don't know how you top season 1. And then with season 3, I don't know how you could top season 2. Season 3 was the best season yet. I was like, and they're not gonna. I mean, I'm glad it ended on a good note. Like it seemed like there was a nice resolution at the end.
Yeah. So there was a little Easter egg that Bullseye was still alive.
Yeah, but like you could, if you took that scene out, you get a nice complete story of Kingpin, of Matt, of everybody. So, yeah, that's Dark Phoenix. We just drifted off on Netflix.
So what do you think about Dark Phoenix? Do you think that they're gonna
release it?
Put it on streaming service, or I mean, like they can't exactly just bury this movie and just and not release it. In some form.
So I'll tell you what I want and what's realistically gonna happen. I think what I want, I think they should. I mean, they should put it on Hulu. What I want them to do is, I want them to put it on Hulu. Just write it off as like a, just Dark Phoenix exclusively on Hulu. I mean, it would be big for the streaming service. Even if the movie was shit, it'd be big. People would be signing up for Hulu just to watch it because it's an X-Men movie. It's a blockbuster. Realistically, I think Disney's going to end up having to put this out. There's going to be something in the contract that says they're going to have to release it. There's just so much at play here. Just too much. And as much as Bob Iger doesn't want to release it, as much as Kevin Feige doesn't want to have to release it, I think it's going to come out in theaters by Disney.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. All right. That's Dark Phoenix. Let's hope. You know what? Look, just because we hear the movie is testing bad, remember this. Apparently, A Quiet Place was testing terribly too. Have you seen A Quiet Place?
Oh yeah, the movie's great.
Yeah. Apparently, those test screenings were pretty bad. Apparently. Yeah. So no, it was because I don't know what the reason was. And apparently, we heard that Wonder Woman was testing pretty bad.
Yeah, but that was also from a really shitty scooper.
Yeah.
Thought that they knew what they were talking
What was
about.
who started up this Dark Phoenix's shit testing thing?
I don't remember the name. And plus, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Yeah, it's true.
But
if a lot of people are reporting it, then there must be validity. Because I remember seeing, I follow some people on Twitter who are very into this, who've always got a good track record. They said this movie's shit, and I when you hear enough in the online world, you start to pick up, okay, maybe something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Dark Phoenix. we buried that hole. I guess, all right, now we're going to get into the top 5 comic book movies of all time. And obviously you and I have very, very, very different lists. So I guess you could start off this one.
You want me to start off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or did you want me to start off? It's up to you.
I've been starting stuff.
All right.
This entire show, so you go ahead.
All right, you want me to do it? All right, hang on. I was not prepared for that. All right, oops. Okay, there we go.
We're doing it live.
This is pre-recorded. All right. So, as you could tell by the picture, I don't know if you could tell, my number 5, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And I know this is recent. It literally came out a month ago. But damn, this movie was great. I think
it's that good.
It's that good. Stylistically, it was awesome. The writing, so damn good. Totally off topic. Lucasfilm was dumb for firing Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who wrote the movie, and they were supposed to direct Solo, and then they got fired.
Yeah, I think they realize that now, honestly.
These dudes are geniuses, and apparently Lego Movie 2 is really, really good. It's because they also wrote that. So, but this movie, the characters, really good. This could have been a confusing ass movie with all these characters from different universes, but they stuck the landing, and they made Miles Morales an awesome hero, the protagonist, in a world where people generally know Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And so to kind of excel both Miles Morales and Peter Parker without having to hurt Peter Parker, or Peter Parker having to rely on Miles Morales to show that Miles is the better hero or is a hero, was really refreshing, because we've seen a lot of movies and TV shows kind of put a bad spin on the character we know and love, and to make the new character seem better in a way.
You know that Chris Pine voiced Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I was I was so confused. I was like, wait, I thought Jake Johnson was Spider-Man. What happened? Was there drama? And then as the movie progressed, I'm like, oh, that's genius, because in the comics that's how it happens. Peter Parker dies, and then Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man. I was like, that never clicked in my head watching the trailers, and then it wasn't until I was in the theater I was like, oh yeah, in the comic storyline, Peter Parker dies, and then the spider bites Miles.
I actually had Peter dying spoiled for me on Twitter. It was just like the news, the breaking news thing that comes up in Times Square. Someone just had a screenshot and was just like, man, this made me cry so hard. And I was just like, gee. The thing is, I didn't know that it was from the movie. I was just like, what is that? And then I see the movie and I was just like, shit.
But man, the voice talent was great. The style of this movie was on point. Holy shit. Yeah. Easily the best looking movie of the year. And just the story itself, anyone can be behind the mask. I fucking love that storyline. I think, and that kind of exemplified what I love in a comic book movie. So that was number 5. Number 4, I don't know how you feel about this movie. Captain America Civil War.
Oh no! Fuck that movie, dude. I
What?
hate that. Dude,
Really?
Dude, that is not a Civil War movie.
Really?
They should have made I don't mean to jump into your list. I know for a fact you're gonna do it to mine.
Go for it. Go for it.
But they should have made Civil War one. First of all, they should have waited. They did not have the roster to actually pull that movie off the way that it should have been. Two,
I mean,
it should have not been a Captain America movie. That should have been an Avengers movie. They should have waited after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we still don't know the status of like Thor and Captain America and Iron Man. Let's just say for say for example they survive somehow
right.
or they're still out there.
Uh-huh.
They should have waited because the roster is only getting bigger. And one of the coolest things about the Civil War storyline is how big that roster is. How many characters are involved? Excuse me.
Yeah.
How many characters are involved?
Mm-hmm.
Like just having like this small little ragtag group of just like nerds. Like I don't give a fuck about Black Widow or Hawkeye. And that's another thing. In Civil War, that was like the actual comic. That was like an actual battle. You've got Black Widow and Hawkeye over here cracking jokes like, "Oh, we're still friends, right?"
I don't know what you're talking about. That airport battle is the best scene in any best fight in any comic book movie I've ever seen.
I wouldn't go that far.
But you know,
speaking on that airport fight, I will say when I first saw it, like they were like all fighting, I did tear up a little bit. But once I came to my senses and realized just how ugly it looks, like it's gonna take place in a dingy ass airport. Like the cinematography looked god awful. The color grading just cheeks. I didn't like it. But like I mean,
that's probably my only negative. That the movie was a bit gray, looking wise. But look. A movie like this can only happen if you have established characters. And given the established characters, you know, we know Steve Rogers, we know Tony Stark. And, you know, number one, continuing off of Winter Soldier, which I also loved. I freaking love Winter Soldier. I know you do too, coming into your list. Continuing the story and in an unexpected way to also break the Avengers. Going into Infinity War, if they were not broken, they probably would have beaten Thanos. And so number one, I love the action in this movie. The action in this movie is incredible. The chase with Black Panther, Captain America, and Bucky is phenomenal. The opening battle was pretty awesome. Where were they? In Lagos? It's pretty damn good.
I don't know. I don't think
you don't like this movie at all, really?
Okay, it's not that I don't like it. It's just like there are some great like parts of that movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the movie is an entire like a huge shit show. Mm-hmm. There are aspects like I love the introduction of Black Panther.
Oh yeah, he was great in the movie. Spider-Man. What do you think about Spider-Man's introduction?
I mean, no, it was pretty much what I imagined it to be. Okay. So I wasn't like blown away or like disappointed or anything like that.
All right.
I love the tension between Captain America and Iron Man, especially when he finds out that Bucky
killed that literally. I remember sitting in that theater, everyone audibly gasps when you find out like Bucky killed. And you know, it was the main thing that can only make or break this movie is the rift between Tony and Steve. And like I bought into that 100%, even from the Sokovia Accords, which I thought were a little bit I also thought the villain was a little bit in this movie. Like you didn't need him. He was just
Zemo?
Yeah, he was stupid.
Oh, yeah, no, Zemo is by far the worst part of that movie. And I know that I have a few friends that think Zemo is one of the best MCU villains. I'm like, you couldn't be any more wrong than you are right now.
I know. But look, I love Civil War. I think it's better than Batman vs Superman. I know we might have disagreeing about this, but I love the style. I love the story. I love the action, and the Russo brothers. They're pretty good directors when it comes to Marvel movies, at least. Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Civil War. And they're probably going to crush it with Endgame, probably.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
it's a given, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, it's a given. We know how it's gonna, or we don't know how it's gonna. They know. They're just laughing. They're like, look at all these stupid heads, like trying to think of what the movie's gonna be. Like they're just laughing.
Subversion.
Yeah. So my number 4 is Civil War, even though it might be way down your list, probably. What's my number 3? I forgot. Number 3, Logan.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. I love this movie. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. Like, I've never seen like a more satisfying conclusion to a character arc in like a movie, like in a movie like ever. Like not even Harry Potter, not like, Lord of the Rings. This literally had a poetic poetic ending to it, and it really put Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Logan through the ringer, and Professor X. And, you know, you're introducing all these complex elements like his daughter, X-23, a future where you learn Professor X literally killed all of the mutants, even including the X-Men. And, like, what you get is
that really
just,
me.
you know, like a dark noir drama set in the West, essentially. And I ate it up.
I can only watch that movie like a couple of times because that's just really depressing. Because
It's
I love Hugh Jackman in that role, and
Mm-hmm.
like seeing anyone else take on that role is extremely difficult for me.
Yeah, they're gonna
Like,
obviously they're gonna do Wolverine again when Marvel gets the rights back. But whoever's gonna get the role is gonna be getting a lot of fire. But nothing can ever, no other comic book character or like comic book actor will ever have an experience with in a role with the movie like Logan did. Like to have a character of from a 17-year-old franchise in a movie that's literally just all send off and all payoff. We wanted an R-rated Wolverine movie from the beginning. We got it. And we got a poetic ending. And that final shot always breaks my damn heart.
yeah, see, that's literally the last shot is the reason why I could barely
Yeah.
watch the movie now. I'm like,
You know, women cry all the time. Men cry at this movie. Men cry at this
it's okay for men to have feelings.
Yeah, we can cry at this movie. So my number 3 is Logan. I forget what my number 2 is. Oh, number 2.
You not have your list in front of you.
No. I mean, now I do. Number 2,
okay.
Infinity War.
Ooh.
This movie really this movie could have gone wrong in so many places with 500 million characters in this movie.
Essentially.
Yeah, like essentially. And I know every character doesn't get their due. I thought Captain America was a little bit, shortchanged, and like they've come out and said, people who didn't have a large role in this one will have a bigger role in Avengers 4. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of cool with that then. But to have like your main character not only be the villain, and to, as a fan who's been invested in this series for 10 years and invested in the storyline and these characters, to witness like small moments, like when Bucky's like shooting with Rocket, like picking up Rocket and they're shooting like going 360, or when Thor comes down in Wakanda, or when Star-Lord meets Iron Man. It's like all these little moments. It just feels epic, and it just feels like this is an achievement Marvel has made, and they've earned it. They've earned it with this movie, and it's always risky because your main character is CGI, and your main character is also the villain, and they pulled it off with that. Josh Brolin is easily the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I mean, like I said, I have my own thoughts about Infinity War, which I'll get to when I get
Oh,
to
really?
this, so.
You do?
So, yeah.
All right. And number 1, this might be a lot of people's number 1, and it's mine too. The Dark Knight. This is probably my favorite movie of all time. Come on, like it's the dark. I don't need to explain myself. It's the Dark Knight, number 1. So fucking good.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to have The Dark Knight as my number 1 for a very long time.
And it changed since then.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
it's
really,
changed.
it's
Yeah.
probably my number 1 favorite movie of all time. Probably right next to The Godfather, right next to Terminator 2. It's up there.
Terminator 2 is such a good movie, and I do like The Godfather. My dad got me into that.
Yeah. All right. You ready for your list?
I am.
All right. What's your number 5?
All right, coming up at number 5, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Like you mentioned, the movie is just phenomenal.
I'll tell you this. I liked the first Captain America movie, directed by a completely different person. Going into Winter Soldier, I was completely mind blown by like the direction they took in this movie.
Yeah, I mean this was the Russo's first film in the MCU. Like they crushed it. I think what really kind of drew me in, like right off the bat, was the fight choreography. Like,
oh my god, yeah, the action.
It was unlike anything we had seen in the MCU prior. You know,
you can't deny. Also in Civil War, the action was fantastic. The Russos know how to do the action.
Yeah. I guess no. Like there are for me there are some bright spots in Civil War. Like I said, it's not a total garbage can.
Hashtag Josh hates Civil War, guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Ah,
like just the introduction of Winter Soldier and his connection to Hydra and all of that. I love the movie. Like I still watch it to this day. Like it's
I still do too. It's awesome. It's probably
for
my
me,
number six. It's probably my number six.
I was wondering why it wasn't on your list actually.
It's probably my number six. If it's not, then it's like probably neck and neck with the first Deadpool. But it's definitely in my top 10. It's definitely in my top 10.
Yeah, because it feels it's because like the movie it's like an espionage.
It's like a spy thriller. That's kind of what
like,
they go.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't think we never really got a comic book movie before
What I
like that.
What I like about what Marvel does with their movies is that they kind of put a tone within the genre. Like Ant-Man, I don't know if you like Ant-Man or not. It's a heist movie.
No.
You don't like Ant-Man?
No, I do not like Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, at least what they're going for, it's a heist movie. Captain America: Winter Soldier is a spy thriller. I'm going blank. Spider-Man: Homecoming is like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Stuff like that. They like inject different tones and different vibes into the movies.
Yeah, Guardians is like a space adventure
comedy. Thor Ragnarok is I'm forgetting someone just described like the perfect tone of Thor Ragnarok, and like I was like, oh my god, that's like right on the head, and now I'm going blank on it. But yeah,
dude, I flip back and forth on that movie all the time.
You like as if like you like it and then you don't like it.
Yeah,
I love
sometimes
that movie.
like sometimes I like it, and then sometimes I have my own personal reasons why I don't, and I'm not gonna get into it on here, but like I have my own personal reasons why sometimes I don't like it, and then sometimes I do like it.
I love that
But,
movie. I love that movie. It's easily the best Thor movie. Easily.
I do like Korg. You can't.
He's the best part of that movie. Almost the best.
All right,
part.
yeah. Winter Soldier,
Soldier.
phenomenal movie. I love it so much.
Number 4.
Probably like my second favorite in the MCU. All right, number 4, and I feel like this is where the debate's gonna start.
Oh yeah, I know what this one is. I just flipped to it now. I can see it. Well, actually, I'm on you with this one. I love Man of Steel.
Yeah, Man of Steel. I have wanted to see a Superman movie like this for the longest time. Like I love the Christopher Reeve movies, and a small part of me has a little bit of respect for Superman Returns, even though that movie is boring.
This movie sucks, man.
Like,
Do you wait? Hang on. Just side note. Do you like Superman Returns more than Civil War?
No.
Okay, I'll
No.
leave you at that.
That's a little
I was about to say
too-
there's not going to be a podcast next time.
No, that's a little too far. Like I have opinions, but I'm not an
I'm just
idiot.
joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, I love Man of Steel. Like I feel like this is where we see Superman the way people have wanted to see him.
Mm-hmm.
He's strong, he's powerful. Like the action sequences, you can feel his strength on the screen.
And I like the direction they took with it. Like they were trying something new. I mean,
yeah, like the whole like opening sequence on Krypton.
It's incredible.
People act like they were there for 45 minutes. I'm like, no, it was about 20 minutes. It's something we have never seen before.
Could have been shorter. Could have been shorter just a little bit. I do have minor gripes with the movie, but like overall, it's incredible. I love Man of Steel.
Yeah, Man of Steel is a phenomenal movie. The introduction of Henry Cavill as Superman, he is Superman now. Like when you ask people who's Superman, like of course there's Christopher Reeve, but he is Superman.
I mean,
and he does a great job.
As of now, it might be up in the air. We don't know.
Yeah, it's still up for debate. I mean, I've heard he's still under negotiations with the movie, and he wants to continue doing the character. So,
but again, like I agree, Zod was a great villain. Yeah,
Zod's a phenomenal villain. I know some people like are, either
he snapped his neck.
Like I see. I don't have a problem with that. Did you have a problem with that?
I felt like it was like, given the circumstances, I understood exactly what. And it's not like Superman has no killing rule. He kills a lot in the comics. Exactly. It's just kind of what the people, like the majority of people, their knowledge on comic book movies. I'm not talking about just like I'm not like looking to attack anybody here. I'm just saying the general public audience, movie-going audience, because they've seen the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and because they've seen maybe the show, and maybe Superman doesn't kill in like the original movies or in the animated shows, but in the comics he does kill when he has to.
Actually,
I mean, no.
In the Christopher Reeve Superman, he kills Zod.
He just pushes him. He just pushes.
He like falls down like an endless shaft. He's fucking dead. He's not coming back.
Sure, but breaking a neck versus pushing is two completely different things.
It's still the act of killing somebody. Like it's not like he.
I mean,
he's dead.
Yeah.
Because
But,
here's the way that I've always seen the killing of Zod, and hopefully you'll agree with me. At least I hope so. And if you don't, it's fine. There's Superman. Like people have always said that Superman doesn't kill. Superman doesn't kill, whatever. Or like, and like I think in the comics now he doesn't kill. Like that's something that he's kind of.
This is something new because
it's a standard that he's held himself to.
Right.
In this movie, we figured out why doesn't he kill? Something had to have happened to make him not want to kill a human being, or just
and this is it
in general.
This was literally right after he kills Zod, he starts screaming. He starts he's like screaming in pain because he didn't.
He's not like, get that fucker. Like he was because that was the last of his kind. He didn't want to kill him.
He didn't want.
It's not like he went into the fight with the sole purpose of ending his life. And then when he did, he felt so horrible about it, and that's why he doesn't kill. That's why Zack Snyder put that in the movie, because like we needed to show that how he feels about the whole killing shit. So yeah, Man of Steel. I love Zack Snyder. I know some of his stuff can be hit and miss, and I'm not acting like he's some perfect director, but I absolutely love what he did with the Superman.
I did too. I think this is probably easily my favorite Zack Snyder movie, hands down. Man of Steel. I think it's the best DCEU movie still, over Wonder Woman, and over Wonder Woman and over Aquaman. I think looking back on it, I said maybe Aquaman was my favorite, but then I saw Man of Steel again a couple of days ago. I don't know what Kool-Aid I was drinking. Man of Steel is still the best.
It's funny. I have a couple of friends of mine who think like Superman's boring, and I'll show them that movie, and they're just like, actually, Superman's pretty cool. And I'm just like, yeah, he is. Like,
he's pretty cool. And yeah, so that's your number 4.
Yeah. Number 4. Okay. Well, yeah. Number 4 was Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Number 3, I originally had Watchmen here, but at the last minute I switched it out, and I put The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
I love this movie. It used to be my number 1, but obviously
I forget what was your number 2 and number 1, but we'll get there.
Yeah. The Dark Knight really doesn't need any introduction or explanation.
This is probably a lot of people's number 1. Probably.
This was the number 1 comic book movie like ever for a very long time. I mean, the introduction of Heath Ledger's Joker, just the crime kind of like noir drama that the movie was. It felt more like a crime drama than it did an actual superhero movie. And I love that.
I love it. And I'm hoping, again off topic, I'm hoping that's what Birds of Prey is going for.
I mean, I doubt it. I mean, I would love that, but I mean, like, it's possible with the introduction of like Renee Montoya and stuff like that. I mean, it has potential, but I don't. I'd be surprised.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to say about the Dark Knight. It's just, it is.
It's the Dark Knight. No comment is needed.
Yeah, no literally, it's the Dark Knight. You don't really need to explain it.
All right. So that's your number 3.
Yeah. Number 3, was the Dark Knight, and coming in runner up, number 2. We have Avengers: Infinity War. I absolutely love this movie. This is
great.
My favorite movie in the MCU.
Oh, hands down.
The way I think the reason why this movie is so high on my list is because of Josh Brolin.
Oh, easily.
The way he portrays Thanos is so intimidating. You kind of feel for him when he's talking about like
and even when he has to sacrifice Gamora, you bought into that. Because
in some like twisted way, you also can understand why he's doing it. He's going about his plan the wrong way.
The way he sees it, he's the hero. The way he sees it, he has the hero's journey. He's the one smiling at the end.
Yeah, I just love this movie. Just like I've been watching the MCU since Iron Man. I've seen every single MCU movie aside from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I like that one.
I heard it was trash, so I just
really
opted not to. Yeah, I heard, I mean, like especially I heard the ending. Like, can we talk about the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Have you seen? Do you know what happens in it?
Basically, they rescue Hope's mom, and like Ghost is there, and she's like freaking out, and then she just like touches her, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm cured."
There's more to it.
No,
there's more to it. But I think from what we know, I think you have to see Ant-Man and the Wasp before you see Endgame, because there are some nods, and
because of the quantum realm.
Not because of the quantum realm, and because where that movie ends, hard to explain.
No, I already know he's inside the quantum realm and everybody gets snapped.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And because there's and throughout the movie you learn more about the quantum realm. They like not so, or I mean I guess subtly, they're always dropping hints about what is possible in the quantum realm. So I feel like, that will play a huge role in Endgame.
Yeah, like time travel and shit.
Yeah, like time travel. But Infinity War.
Yeah, no, dude, I just seeing all the characters come together, like you said,
It was just
Iron
so
Man
damn
meeting-
satisfying.
yeah, Iron Man meeting, Star Lord or Iron Man and Drax like going back and forth or whatever. Like that's literally like a comic book movie on screen. Like a comic book series like on screen.
Can we talk about easily like the best movie like moment in a theater? Thor showing up in Wakanda.
Dude, I've saw the movie in the theater 4 times and I got chills
Every
each
single time. I've seen this movie like hundreds of times, or not hundreds of times, probably tens of times, and I still get chills every time that moment comes up. The music, the camera shots, bring me Thanos, like, oh my god.
And that huge 808 drop when he slams Stormbreaker on the ground, like man,
Thor
so good.
is on an all-time high.
And like one of the smallest like parts of the movie is like literally my personal favorite is when Groot literally looks at like Captain America and says, "I am Groot. Says, I am Steve Rogers." I love that scene, man. Like he's talking to a space tree.
Yeah,
Captain America, the dude who was fighting Nazis in the 40s, is now in modern day talking to a space tree.
I mean,
God.
My favorite moment of Infinity War, there's no action. It's just an exchange between two characters, and you really understand like what these characters have been through. It's the conversation between Rocket and Thor. What Thor, when you realize what Thor's really lost: his brother, his mom, his friends, his people, and like you're like, what do you got to lose? I got nothing to lose. You're like, holy shit, like that was deep.
Yeah, out of all the characters in the MCU, Thor's lost the most.
Thor's lost the most.
He's been through the most.
And Thor's never really been my favorite, in movies. But here he was like, what the hell? And in Ragnarok too, especially from Ragnarok to this, what Marvel has done with the character in both movies has been like astounding.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Endgame.
I'm easily. We're gonna get to that in 2019. We're gonna get to that when we get to the 2019 list.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Number two.
Infinity. Number one. Okay. I know.
Number one. And I guess people who know me already know this, but my number one is Batman v Superman, the ultimate cut.
Okay.
The ultimate cut.
Okay. When you said Batman v Superman, I thought you meant theatrical for a second. I'll give you the ultimate.
There is no theatrical version. There's literally only the ultimate cut. At
least
in my eyes.
I'm just curious. What was your reaction coming out of the theater, seeing it for the first time, the theatrical cut?
Jeez, what was that? 2016?
Yeah.
From what I remember, my initial thoughts was like, yeah, it's amazing, yada yada yada. But when I really got to sit and think about it, I was just like,
Martha.
There were a lot of. Don't get me started on that. Dude, I would literally, if that is like one of your points on why you don't like the movie, I would literally debate you into the ground.
No, don't worry. I got some problems with this movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand where people come with when it comes to the Martha scene, but I have my own personal kind of view on it that I think kind of trumps all others.
I mean, I'll give it this. It's ambitious as hell. It's going like it goes there. It's not afraid to go there.
But yeah, I think the theatrical cut when I first saw it was like, it was okay.
Just disappointing.
I really enjoyed it. And then when I saw the ultimate cut, I was just like,
completely different movies, almost different movies.
Like they add an entire subplot that helps bring the movie together more.
Yeah, like in the theatrical cut, I was like, wait, what? Like there's not a lot of Superman was doing nothing in this movie except being why? And like I don't care about what happened in Africa. Like shut up. And then
I mean the world cared about it. That's why it was so heavy on him. I'm just trying to do the right thing and I just keep getting judged 24/7 by
But in the theatrical version it didn't make sense because they're like, oh, didn't they just shoot him? Like wouldn't they have just seen bullet holes? But in the there's little stuff like that the little seeds. And then we learn why Clark Kent going to Gotham and investigating on Batman was pretty cool. And there's a little bit more build up. I like the Ultimate Edition. I don't still think it's a perfect movie by any stretch, but it's the Ultimate Edition. Overall is a much better movie.
Yeah,
than-
I
than
mean,
what we
yeah, because they added the whole like subplot about Lois like investigating the
the
bullet,
bullet.
and introducing Jenna Malone's character, which I honestly thought was supposed to be Barbara Gordon, and I was a little disappointed that it wasn't. Cause I think she would have done a really good job. Just the introduction of Ben Affleck's Batman, literally
Best part of the movie.
yeah, the
And
most
Wonder Woman.
comic book accurate Batman that we possibly may ever get on the screen. Like, I'd be surprised if we got. I mean, we'll see what Matt Reeves does with his Batman. But I mean,
I'm hearing it's really close to what to the comics.
I mean,
yeah.
we'll see. But like, Ben Affleck set the bar really high.
He did.
And I was one of those people that were just extremely pissed when I remember I was laying in bed. I was getting ready to go to bed when the story dropped.
Oh, that he wasn't directing the Batman.
No. When he was cast.
Oh. Dude,
I'm talking like back in like 2015.
I might have been the only person on like the internet that thought it was a great idea that he would.
I was like the guy from Geely. I'm like Matt Murdock. Like, no, like this is gonna be horrible. And then lo and behold, he turns out to be the best live action Batman. Yes, he is better than Christian Bale. And
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just like I think just like the world building, and I know that there are a lot of people that don't like.
It feels
aspect of the movie
in terms of going straight into Justice League. It did feel a little bit rushed. Like the Justice League was introduced on an email attachment.
I will say
that was lazy.
That was one of like my gripes against this movie. Like it being at my number one does not mean that I think this is a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination. I do think like
it does get a little bit boring. A little bit. I'll be honest. It does. It gets a little bit boring.
Did Lex Luthor design the Justice League logos like in Photoshop?
Hang on, let me ask you a question. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. What do you think?
Loved it.
Really? I hated it.
Yes,
hated
absolutely. I just like I don't know like.
No, don't get me wrong. Jesse Eisenberg did great as Lex Luthor. He went all out there. I'll give him that. That is not Lex Luthor. That is not.
See, the thing is, here's the thing. Based on what I've heard and seen from people talk about what they don't like about his Lex Luthor, is that they're expecting him to be the Lex Luthor that is established in comics now. This calm, cool, collected guy.
That's not what I was expecting. I just wasn't like. I just didn't like the goofiness Eisenberg brought to it. I don't know if that was it. There was just something about Eisenberg, like even from when they announced him as Lex Luthor, I was like, huh?
I'll admit, I was very skeptical when they first.
That was probably like I was like, ugh.
Because my original choice was Mark Strong, the guy who's playing Dr. Sivana in Shazam. Either him or Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was a little bit higher on my list just because of.
Is it because these guys are bald?
No, it's because I had just finished watching Breaking Bad.
Okay, because I know a lot of people just like when they heard that Lex Luthor was going to be in the movie, we didn't know who it was. Everyone just picked. Oh, let's get this bald guy. Let's get this bald guy. Let's get this bald guy. I was like, guys, there's other actors. They could shave their heads.
Yeah, I literally just finished watching Breaking Bad. And I was like, I think he'd do a really good job. Now Bryan Cranston is my choice for Mr. Freeze. I think you can do a lot with that. I think
it'll be a while before we see Mr. Freeze. Then again, I thought it'd be a while before we see Bane because of Batman and Robin, but we don't talk about that.
Okay, I have a special place in my heart for that movie, man. Honestly,
we'll bring that up another day.
But there was a point in the comics where Lex Luthor was like this goofy kind of off guy.
I mean, he was, but it didn't fit this movie. Like this movie has set a tone, and it feels like every time he entered the movie, it was just a completely different movie.
See, that's actually not an argument that I've heard before. So
I was buying into the tone. I like the tone. I mean, the storyline, was a bit muddled, but it just seems like he was in a different movie. It just seemed like he was in, I don't know, Batman and Robin, I guess.
It was no, I wouldn't say.
No, I'm just saying it just seemed like he was in a completely different movie.
Right.
And then, go ahead.
I mean, we've seen the same type of Lex Luthor on the screen. Like, I forget the guy who played him in the Christopher Reeve movies, or
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman, and then you have
Kevin
Michael
Spacey.
Rosenbaum. Kevin Spacey.
We don't talk about him.
Man. Yeah. We've had basically, essentially,
a lot of
same
variation.
Lex Luthers,
I'll give them that they
like,
try to go in a different direction, very much how they try to go in a different direction for Superman, for a new audience, essentially. I just didn't think it worked when it came to Lex Luthor.
I don't know. I feel like they did. I feel like it did just because, like in this movie, Lex and Superman are just complete and polar opposites. Like he's this wacky,
In terms of tone.
but yeah, but he's this wacky but calm and collected strategist essentially who put all these pieces in motion to
Pea in a jar.
defame Superman.
Pea in a jar.
And I don't think that was actual urine. I think it was just a
I think it's
play
implied.
on, like,
I think it's implied. It is.
I honestly don't think that was. I think
Alright.
it. I don't fucking know. I don't think much about that whole like peach tea thing.
I'll give him this. I'll give Batman vs Superman this. As much as like it seems like I hate this movie. I don't hate this movie. I think it looks so damn good. I think Zack Snyder was doing something very ambitious. Obviously, there was supposed to be some payoff in Justice League, but we'll never see the light on day on that. But on the whole, Batman vs Superman theatrical, shit. Batman vs Superman Ultimate, surprisingly, even 30 minutes makes the movie seem completely different, and that's the case. Ultimate Edition, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I have it at like a 9.
Number 1.
Yeah,
Oh, you have it at
obviously,
9
yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I will say about Batman v Superman, which I still to this day don't like, I think that they killed Superman way too soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That really was like, really? Like, really?
I mean, honestly, I had an idea for how I think it would have been cool to have like the third act. It would have been cool to see instead of I would remove Doomsday entirely. I wouldn't even have any kind of Kryptonian tech, whatever. I would have brought in Amazo.
Okay.
I would have had Amazo be the main villain.
Right. Oh, that would have been
then-
great.
And instead of having Superman have to sacrifice himself to save the city, they all team up and take down Amazo.
I mean,
thought that would've been
obviously-
much better.
Obviously, they wanted Superman dead for a reason. And, I mean, obviously, we were supposed to get some sort of payoff in Justice League.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, and of course we'll never know because Zack Snyder's cut of that film is never going to see the light of day. It's not.
It's not. As much as people hashtag release the Snyder cut, it's not happening.
It's really not because if you think about it,
As much as look, I
Aquaman
want it
just
to
became-
happen. I want
the
it to
reason
happen.
Aquaman just became the highest grossing DC film ever.
I don't
They
think
are not, they
yeah.
are not about to go back to their lowest point and be like, hey, remember this really shitty movie we released in 2017, whatever? Here's a updated version of that. You guys want to see it? It's just gonna remind people of, and especially if that's
Oh, yeah.
good. If it's leagues better than the theatrical cut,
That's just
they're
bad.
gonna crucify WB
Yeah.
for what they did.
I don't
And
think
they don't want that.
Warner Brothers. I think they're riding it high when it comes to the DC movies. They should not look back.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. It's a wrap. I even spoke to a source of mine, and he was just like, yeah, they spoke to somebody who's close to Zack Snyder, who wants to do the cut, and he was just like, as much as we want to do it, it's just not gonna happen.
And I don't think it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah. So
So, all right, so that's your top 5.
yep.
Yeah, that's my top 5's done. So 2019 just started 28 days ago. We got some great movies to look forward to this year. So do you want to start, or do you want me to start, or how do you want?
I mean, it's up to you, bro. I don't really care.
I guess I'll start. So I guess now we're just ranking our most anticipated from least anticipated to most anticipated of comic book movies of 2019.
I feel like our lists are gonna be similar.
Yeah, I mean, looking on the list, I was like, oh, it's kind of similar. We have similar, but there's some change. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some opinions as to why you think, so I think it'd just be interesting. So, going into my 2019, wait, what? I'm confused. Okay, I just did a little technical glitch. People may have seen my number, some numbers ahead. Dead Last, New Mutants. I'll be honest. Do you think this movie's gonna hit theaters?
No.
No. How many times has this movie been delayed?
I think 3 times.
3 times.
I think this is the third time. 'Cause
We were supposed to get this movie already, like last
Mhm.
year, right? Early last year, we were supposed to get this movie.
Yeah, we were supposed to get it in May,
I thought it was
and
April.
then I don't know. It might have been. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, we were supposed to get it in like quarter 2 of sometime in quarter 2 of 2018,
18.
and then it got delayed to October.
Which
And
would
then
which
from
would which
October-
made sense because it was like, oh, it's Halloween, horror. They're gonna play up on that. It's perfect. I can understand the
And
movie.
then from October, it got delayed to February.
And then from February to August
Yeah, and from
of
February to August,
2019.
yes. So yes, it's been delayed 4 times.
Jesus Christ, this movie's not coming
And
out.
the first I think the first delay was to like they had to do like some major reshoots. So it's
Yeah.
just like
This movie just
what
smells
is
like
so
shit.
like what is so bad about this movie that they need to
And the
delay it
trailer
4
looked
times?
good. I'll give them that. The trailer looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, I was actually excited for it because
It was a horror comic book movie. A horror
Yes,
comic book
that
movie.
is yes. We've never had a horror comic book film before, and that fact alone made me interested. And I like the trailer.
I
I
like
haven't seen
the
the trailer since it came out. I actually might watch it once we're done here.
Yeah,
Just
so
to
it came out
clarify
almost 2
myself.
years ago because this movie was supposed to come out like last year.
Yeah, so I mean,
So I don't think this movie's coming out.
I was excited for it, but I mean, it's just
Yeah. So next up, after New Mutants, Dark Phoenix. We kind of talked about this already. You know, we're hearing it's. I don't know if you've heard from anybody, but apparently this movie is really crap. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit. So yeah, we don't need to talk about Dark Phoenix again. Next up, Joker. I have this low for a reason. And yeah, look, I love the Joker. He's one of my favorite comic book villains of all time. But what's gonna make or break this movie is not Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. What's gonna make or break this movie is Todd Phillips, the writer and director, who has not made a good movie in like 9 years.
man, really?
Yeah, I mean, like literally the last movie I like of his was probably The Hangover, the first Hangover. I thought Hangover 2 was eh. And I
Oh
thought
my god, he directed The Hangover?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
No,
Really?
I didn't know what he directed. I mean,
Really?
people said that he was a good director. I don't think I looked it up, or at least if I did, I didn't remember.
He
what I
directed the Hangover trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. First one was really good. Second one's eh. Third one's also eh. I don't know. Have you seen the movie War Dogs?
saw. I did. I actually liked it.
I wasn't that big on it.
He directed A Star Is Born.
No, he produced it.
Oh, okay.
He produced it. What else did he do? He directed Due Date. I don't know if you've seen that.
Nope.
Oh, and then he directed Old School. So like, he's also a writer on it, and then he's also directing it. And to me, he hasn't made a good movie in 9 years. So I'm very nervous about this. But from what we've seen on the set,
He directed Starsky and Hutch.
yeah, he directed Starsky and Hutch. That's right. I did like that, but that was like what, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So-
actually never seen that movie.
It was
before.
really funny. It's really solid. I like that movie. But look, it looks good. I think the cast assembled is pretty awesome. But fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's good. Next up, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Are you looking forward to Captain Marvel? I'm just teasing for you. Are you looking forward to Captain Marvel? I know there's some, stir on the internet.
I mean, you said excited, right?
I'm excited for Captain Marvel.
I wouldn't say that I'm excited. I'm
Curious?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm seeing the movie. That's
All right, we'll talk about it as we get to your list. But I'm really excited for Captain Marvel. It's like number one, I love her in the comics, Carol Danvers. They're also changing up her origin for the movie because when they were developing it, Warner Bros. Was actually seriously considering doing a Green Lantern movie. Now they're not. So Marvel had to change up the origin. And it looks pretty intriguing as the first movie. Her forgetting her memories. I don't know. It just looks really interesting, and like clearly she's gonna have a big role going into Endgame, given the end of Infinity War. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this movie. I'm excited. I'm excited as hell. Next up, Shazam. This movie looks so damn fun. This looks like a movie you don't take seriously. You just, very much like Aquaman. You're gonna have a fun ride with this movie. It just looks so charming, so fun, and like when they first announced Zach Levi as Shazam, I was like, huh? Like what was your thoughts on like? Do you think he was good? Do you think he was going to be a good Shazam before you saw any of the footage or anything?
Oh yeah, no, because I used to watch Chuck.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I was a huge Chuck fan, and I mean, he wasn't actually he wasn't like, my choice at all. Actually, the guy who plays Hawk on Titans, Alan Ritchson, I wanted him to play Shazam. I thought he would have been perfect because if you watch Blue Mountain State, he's basically a giant kid.
Yeah.
And he's just super immature, and I just thought he'd be perfect.
Right.
But once they cast Zachary Levi, I was just like, you know what? I was like,
Once I started seeing footage, I'm like, look, I love Zach Levi. I just don't know how he's going to do with Shazam. Also, to be fair, I didn't know what kind of tone they were going for Shazam. It wasn't until I saw that first trailer I was like, I'm in. I totally get it. This is perfect. Perfect casting. And like I was wrong to doubt Zachary Levi in the first place. He's too damn good. Zachary Levi is too damn charismatic.
Yeah, dude, I've always been on board.
Yeah. And like the cast they assemble, it just looks so damn fun. I mean, like it's hard to resist a movie like this. That's number 3, I believe, on most anticipated. Number 2, Spider-Man. Spider-Man: Far From Home. I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier. I loved Did you like Homecoming?
Yeah, Homecoming was good.
I loved Homecoming.
Even though the trailers literally spoiled the entire movie, but
yeah, I mean, I like the twist in Homecoming. I liked the twist a lot in Homecoming. That was intriguing. That you find out that he's his girlfriend's daughter, or his father.
No, I wasn't expecting that.
That was so unexpected. Everybody, another gasp-worthy moment. Like when that moment comes on, everyone's like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh my god!" Like so, and I love like the tone and the vibe. I love Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and I can't wait to see this go on. I love this incarnation of Spider-Man. I love these characters, his best friend especially, the dynamic there. I can't wait. And number 1, this is probably everyone's number 1, Avengers Endgame. Come on. How can you not look forward to this? Even people who hated Infinity War, I bet are looking forward to this movie. Come on.
I have never come across a single human being that hated Infinity
Dude,
War.
I know some people. I have a friend of mine who thinks Infinity War is quote unquote boring. But to be fair, he's not really into the superhero like movie like thing. He's not really into this movie. When we saw like we tried it's on Netflix now. So when we were at a friend's house, we were putting it on Netflix. It's like, this movie is boring. I was like, what? I was like, okay. But it's Endgame, man. It's come down to this. The storyline that's been building up for 11 years now at this point. It's coming to an end here. Like they've said, this is the end of the Infinity Stone storyline. And like, I'm just excited. I've been so invested, and this is it. So that's my most anticipated of 2019. And now, Josh, you want to start with yours?
Crap, I gotta pull it up. I don't have it up.
Go for it.
Pull it up. All right, so coming in at number 5, New Mutants. Like I said, I was super excited for the movie. First comic book horror film that was being developed. The first trailer got me intrigued. I was very interested to see what they were going to do, but all of the delays and all of the reshoots and just how there's no hype surrounding the movie, it's pretty much going to be DOA, I think.
I think so too.
So that's why it's at the bottom of my list. Coming in at number 4, Dark Phoenix. Like I said, we already talked about that. Just again another X-Men movie with a bunch of delays and a bunch of reshoots and just so far word of mouth surrounding the.
What's crazy? I just realized this. Like Fox has had an amazing streak with like Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, and now like they're in a shit streak now, coming with New Mutants and Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, like, I'm really sad because I love the X-Men.
I do too. It breaks my damn heart. Like it broke my damn heart when I heard when we heard Dark Phoenix was testing terribly. I was like, damn, they're gonna go out on a whimper.
And I think it's just like it's funny because you look at their social media and they're trying so hard to like build hype around it.
Guys, this movie's good.
Like nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
They put out a picture. I think either yesterday or the day before. It was just like a family divided. I'm like, which X-Men movie where they have not been divided? That just seems to be the running theme with these X-Men movies.
What did you think? I'm just curious. What did you think of the trailer?
Um,
I thought it
fuck,
looked.
there was a trailer.
Yeah, for Dark Phoenix. There was a couple months ago.
Oh,
I thought it
yeah,
looked.
I don't remember.
I'll be
I don't
honest. The
remember
trailer
that.
looked solid a little bit.
I don't.
Trailer
I
looked
don't remember.
solid. So I don't
I
know
need to
what.
watch it again. I don't remember it.
I mean, like it probably got lost. It came out sometime last year. I forgot when, but it was a pretty good trailer. I kind of liked it. So Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's
Um.
eh.
Again, I find it interesting that like X3 was the last film of the like the X-Men trilogy, and now Dark Phoenix is the last X-Men movie that Fox is ever going to do. So
That's-
I
that's
hope
probably
they go
shit.
out. Yeah, I hope they go out with a bang. Like
Look,
I hope the movie's amazing, and I hope that they kill.
I hope this movie is great. I want this
shit.
movie to be great. But I don't know.
I hope they kill Mystique off because she's shit, and they try to do.
I
Try
think
to make her like this.
there's a
fucking,
there's a
like,
scene in there's a scene in the trailer where they're at a graveyard, and I'm pretty sure they're at Mystique's funeral probably.
fingers crossed because fuck her.
I think she's fine.
Um,
I think she's all right. She's not terrible. She's not great, but she's kind of
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah, coming in at number 3, I have number 3. No, that's
I think you have
that
this
is
out of
3.
whack.
Wait, what?
I mean, all I have here is just Captain Marvel's up for you.
Wait, one. I was like,
This is the first episode, guys. I told you something was going to go wrong.
wait, whoa!
Did you mess up?
Too many.
Did
I
you?
added too
No,
many.
no. This is not supposed to be top 5. This is just like out of the list I sent you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, what is wrong?
So I'll help you out
with
here.
me today?
Captain Marvel is after Dark Phoenix for you.
Okay, yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Dude, it's almost midnight.
It's
man. I'm
almost
tired.
midnight. Yeah.
All right, yeah, Captain Marvel. I am gonna see it. Okay. Here's the thing about Captain Marvel for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited that they're introducing Skrulls. I'm super excited that it's taking place in
Oh, right, yeah.
the 90s,
Mhm.
80s,
90s.
It's a blockbuster movie. That's cool. Like
Yeah.
immediately, that makes me
It's like
intrigued.
nothing screams 90s. Hey guys, our movie's set in the 90s when she crashes into Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, exactly. But like my biggest like trepidation when it comes to this film is Brie Larson. I don't know. The trailers have not sold me on her as this badass half Kree, half human. Like
I mean,
she just comes across as dry, man. Like
to
I'm
be fair,
sorry.
she did have her memory wiped out. She is trained to be a killing machine. I don't know if you're
mean,
supposed to have much emotion.
No, I get that, but like I don't know. It's just like
I think we just gotta wait for the movie to adjust the performance. I mean, I'll be honest. I think she looks a little bit dry too, but given like the backstory, like she doesn't have any memories, but like she's just bred into this war between the Kree and the Skrulls, and she's just a secret weapon, and she's just it's all about
and it-
fight.
and it sucks because like if you say that like she's dry or anything like that, you're automatically a sexist.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean,
I
I'm
love
not.
Women. Women are queens. We just
Yeah.
treat them with respect.
And like
love and
I
care.
love look, I know there's like a lot of hate on Brie Larson. I think she's a great actress. I think she was great in Kong. I think her best performance is in Room. I don't know if you've seen Room.
I've been meaning to see them. She won
It's
an
on-
Oscar for it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's on Netflix. Definitely check it out.
okay.
But I love Brie Larson.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still gonna see the movie.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how
I already got my ticket.
where she's been, for the past 24 years or whatever, because she's not in any other MCU movie.
Yeah, and they said she's the most powerful character coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I mean, I believe that, especially when in the trailer she went like full Super Saiyan with like the hair and everything. So it's gonna look amazing. I know that for a fact. I have no doubt about that. But I guess every other aspect we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for the movie.
Yeah. And then coming up at number 4, I have Joker.
Joker.
Joker is my favorite comic book character, well, comic book villain. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I
same
literally have his face tattooed on my forearm. So
Oh, yeah.
I love the Joker. I'm very curious to see how they're gonna tackle his origin, which is something that we really haven't seen outside of Under the Red Hood.
I love the Joker, and I'm hoping this movie's good.
Is it Under the Red Hood? Yeah. No,
Yeah, he was in the
not
Red Hood. Yeah.
Yeah, Under the Killing Joke. Why did I say Under the Red Hood?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
we
love
haven't
Under the
seen-
Red Hood.
We haven't seen his origin outside of the Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like, for some reason, when people got upset about this movie, it was because they felt like oh, this is about to be the canon origin of the Joker. No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
This
It's
is an
not.
Elseworlds.
Which I kind of like. I like how it's going outside of the DC, the cinematic universe, telling its own story. I kind of
Yeah,
like
like
that.
yeah, like I hope like this movie becomes successful enough to where DC basically develops an entirely different
Universe.
branch off of this, and
Yeah.
like do something like this. I mean, cool. I want to see like a Red Sun Superman film. Like, dude, that's not something we'd see in the DCEU.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. That's too.
like
Too
that's
different. Too out there.
yeah, that's way out there. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, I will say this about Joker, and I actually posted this on my page
Right.
a few days ago, is that the fact that they literally rewrote the entire script while they were filming.
I mean, look,
I understand.
that happens. It
The thing
happens
is,
a lot.
like, I understand, but that's also I don't know, man. Like,
It happened. Look,
I'm
it happened to
50-50
Mission.
on it, honestly.
It happened to Mission Impossible Fallout. It certainly happened on Infinity War. It happens to movies all the time. They're always tweaking it as you go.
Yeah, but you also just mentioned that the director of Joker has made some really shitty films in the past.
That is
so, like,
true.
having him literally rewrite an entire script with
It's
the
no.
scriptwriter
I don't
in
think
his
it's the entire script. I think it's like sections of it, like the day of. They're like, oh, let's change this up a little bit. That's part of the
I
process.
don't know. Zazie Beetz was pretty adamant when she said that they rewrote the entire script while filming.
I feel like that was like expressive. You do that all the time, like in movies. I feel like
mean,
that's part of the process.
I certainly hope that she doesn't really mean the entire script for like a legit like page one rewrite.
No,
of the
there was
entire
no,
script
there
while
was,
they're filming.
there was definitely no page one rewrite. It happens all the time. Mission Impossible Fallout began shooting before there was a script. Iron Man began shooting before there was a script. So
I mean, the thing that gives me hope is the talent that is surrounding this movie.
exactly, I think the cast is gonna crush it, but again, it just comes down to the director
the script
and
yeah.
the writer.
Well, yeah, director, script, all that.
They got a good
stuff.
co-writer, he just did The Fighter, which came out like 9 years ago. I don't know if you've seen that with
Fighter
Christian,
with
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
that was really good.
But yeah, I'm still excited for Joker. I can't wait to see what this first trailer is gonna look like. Like I don't know when the trailer is gonna come out. Like it's probably gonna be sometime soon. Like maybe like March.
I'm gonna guess sometime maybe with Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. But did they say if this movie was gonna be R or not? Was this aiming for it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's gonna be R?
Yeah. It's rated
So
R.
maybe not with Shazam because you don't want to, kind of.
Yeah, I feel like
Probably,
like
you know what? It's gonna come with CinemaCon. I can call it. I'm calling it CinemaCon. They're gonna drop it
when is CinemaCon?
April usually. So it will probably be attached to Endgame, probably, or Shazam even. I know, and CinemaCon's after Shazam. Probably
That's
to
why I
Endgame.
said-
Probably to Endgame.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm calling CinemaCon right now. It's gonna be Joker trailer. That's where you're getting it.
Yeah. So all right, yeah, Joker, and then coming in. I keep saying up.
Coming up
Coming
next.
coming in at number 3, I have Spider-Man: Far From Home. Like I said, I liked Homecoming. I'm a huge Mysterio fan. I'm curious to see how everything is how the dust settles. Probably poor choice of words.
Oh, very terrible pun, man.
I'm just saying to see how the dust settles after Endgame. See where all the characters are.
I don't feel so good.
See how. Yep, I don't feel so good.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do. Like I took my dad. My dad was like tearing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People were straight crying.
I mean, look, we know they're coming back, but at least they sold us emotionally wise. They sold like that. That sold me. I was like, oh man, that's tough to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just interested to see more Spider-Man, dude. Like.
Yeah, and like we're in this
Into the
weird Spider-Man renaissance again, like with Homecoming, Resurgence, with Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man PS4, Venom, Into the Spider-Verse, and now Far From Home, and he's like one of the best parts of Infinity War. We're having this weird, I'm into it too, Spider-Man resurgence into like pop culture. It's awesome.
Yeah, like Into the Spider-Verse is kind of like giving me like this Spidey fix that like I need. So like I've been playing a little bit more like Spider-Man PS4. They just released the
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they just released like the Bagman and then the
The white suit. I forgot the name.
Future Foundation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Future Foundation suit. Like I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, and they added the Raimi suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was using that a couple of days ago. But yeah, I'm super excited for Spider-Man. I need more Spidey.
Yeah, I can't. We're gonna get some. He's definitely gonna be in Endgame, and obviously he's gonna be in Far From Home.
Yeah. Then number 2, Shazam. Again, I love Zachary Levi. I love the character of Shazam. I think the Shazam family is probably one of the coolest teams in the DC universe that doesn't really get a whole lot of exposure.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping this
I'm
movie
interested,
covers that, and I think they will.
yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to connect Black Adam because supposedly The Rock said that the Black Adam, it's possible that it could go into production this year, although I don't know if they
When
have
is
a
that?
script yet.
Wasn't he casted like 5 years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Originally, I thought he was going to play Shazam, but I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
that's not the
the
case.
word on the street was that he was given a choice, and he decided to go with Black Adam. He was given a choice of who he wanted to play, and this was before they were even developing a Shazam movie. So I was
It's,
like,
it's funny because when they talked to David Sandberg, the director of Shazam, he said that there wasn't a version of the script where Black Adam was in it at all. So it's
exactly.
like,
So I'm so confused because
Yeah.
like, but regardless, it's Shazam. Like, it looks fun as hell, man. It looks awesome.
I'm super stoked for it.
I like the tone. Like, it's big. You know, again, like I just love how superhero movies are looking into other genres. This is clearly, you know, have you seen the Tom Hanks movie Big?
No.
It's about a little kid who becomes a grown up dude, and like this, it's totally what this is going for.
I mean, that's basically just what the Shazam comics are. Just in general.
Exactly, but like it's embracing that, like this kid, and
Right.
he's like having fun, like, you know, he's like we just remember that commercial. He's like, I'm trying to buy your finest beer.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I love that line.
Exactly.
I would like to buy some of your finest beer. Please.
Like, that's totally what a kid would do.
love
They're like jumping on that, like they're like, this is what a kid would do, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this,
they're diving in like
Yeah.
like face first into, and I'm super excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course coming in at number one, I have Venom 2. I'm just kidding.
Venom 2. Is that coming out this year?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought it was for some reason.
no. Yeah, no. Endgame, of course. It's fucking Endgame.
It's the end game.
Literally, it's Endgame, and it's the Endgame. It's the Endgame for. It's the Endgame of a 10-year-long journey for these characters.
Quick question: what did you think? What was your prediction? I know they were like playing coy about the title. What did you think the title was going to be for this movie? Like, what was the title?
I always thought it would be Endgame because Doctor Strange literally says we're in the Endgame now.
I don't know.
And
There
I
was
was
this,
just like, I was like, there you go.
I know there was a title like Avengers Annihilation thrown out there. I don't know where that started, and then there was a theory that I bought into. Like, it was like the coolest theory, and I wish this was the title. And I like the title now. But there was a title.
Assemble?
No. It was just called Last Avengers. Like, have you heard this rumor? Like, it was only a rumor, and obviously it was just a rumor. Or it was called The Last Avengers, or it was just called Last Avengers.
Yeah, I don't think I heard about that.
It was like this awesome rumor, and like it was meaning because it's literally the last Avengers left alive, and I was like, dude, that's deep, and like I was praying that was the title, and like I was like, Endgame would have been too easy, and lo and behold, the title's Endgame. I'm not pissed about it, because
I mean, it fits so much because you get a sense of finality.
yeah,
you know,
it's the end. Like
with that title.
they've been alluding to like that word has been like used in Age of Ultron, and then they clearly name dropped it in Infinity War. Doctor Strange, we're in the Endgame now.
Yeah, like there've actually been a couple rumors saying that Thanos isn't the main antagonist of Endgame. I don't know exactly buy into that.
Yeah, he's obviously in the movie, and they're clearly trying to undo what he's done. I don't know how big of a role Thanos is gonna have this time around. Granted,
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how he's going to factor into the movie.
I know I don't know if it's set. I don't want to say that. It's more than likely there's going to be time travel involved in this movie. Mm-hmm. So like there was a rumor I heard that like the Avengers are going to split off into different timelines, and they each have to fight off Thanos throughout different timelines. That sounds cool as hell.
That would be wild.
Yeah, I know, but look,
right now in present day, fucking Thanos is sitting in a field, buck ass naked, just enjoying just half the universe being gone. So,
but the fact that like even like I guess this was confirmed. Like Kevin Feige said, like the marketing of this movie is not going to show past like the 30-minute mark. So going into this movie, we're not going to know jack shit. And I love that.
That's so rare, like especially for like
a big blockbuster like this.
Yeah. So man, dude, like
I'm so excited.
like I said, I get Shazam and Endgame in the same month that I was born in. I'm going to be the happiest person.
I'm bringing the Kleenex. I'm gonna cry because Chris Evans keeps alluding that this is his last movie as Captain America. This is Robin.
Yeah, because Yeah,
Go on.
because him and RDJ haven't renewed their contracts.
And maybe maybe they're just playing up in that so that like they're like maybe this they could make it seem like this is the end for them, but like at the end everything's fine. But I don't know, man. This
So that's my list.
yeah,
that's my list.
And after an hour and 49 minutes,
Jesus,
that's the show.
wow.
I mean, I think it went pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't stop yet, but I am more than excited to hopefully, if we build up the audience, to bring in the live viewership, to bring in the live chat call. We'll probably figure that out as we go. Let's see if people give a shit about this.
Hopefully,
Hopefully
that'll be nice.
So, I guess plug your shit. What's your username? Where can people find you at?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at DCU News. As hopefully some of you people know. Hi, if you're from Instagram, what's up?
Yeah.
You can also find me on Twitter if you are into the whole Twitter. Wait, oops. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. If you're on Twitter, you can find me at really sharp. That is sharp with an E at the end. You can find it in my bio on my Instagram page. And yeah, that's
it. You could follow me at Pakibra on Twitter and on Instagram, and make sure to follow the Twitter page for this account. I don't know if you noticed, I made a Twitter page, so you can update us when so we can update when the show is coming and all that, and we'll just give you some updates as to the future of the ABNC show.
Oh, we should probably say what ABNC.
I mean, it's there's a giant graphic. You can't see it, but like I have pictures stowed. Like I have the logo on there. They can see. It's the Approved by Nerds Code show. So I mean, do you have any final punchlines? I mean, we gotta have a strong ending.
I mean, I didn't have one prepared. No, I mean, support BBS.
Civil War is a good movie. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.